Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and I have yet another diamond in the rough for you guys to meet today. His name is Frankie Monte, a linebacker out of the Holy Cross. Nice to have you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So, if people haven't really been paying attention to Holy Cross these past few seasons, I kind of feel like it's been a little bit of a linebacker factory with some of the guys coming out there. And bro, you might be the next guy to maybe just hit it big. I guess is really what we're hoping for. But do want to get a chance to meet you. You're doing great this season, tallying up 112 tackles so far with one game left to go. But Frankie, go ahead and introduce yourself and let's get started.
All right, well, I'm Frankie Monte. I'm from Ramsey, New Jersey. Went to high school at St. Joseph Regional, which is in a Catholic school league in North Jersey. Really good competition. Um, yeah.
Cool. So, just to kind of, I don't know, set the stage a little bit more. Bro, let's go back as far as we can. How long have you been playing football?
I've been playing football for as long as I remember. I think flag football started when I was about 5 years old. I remember it's always funny because my dad always brings this up in flag football. My dad was my coach, and he was just like, "Yeah, this guy's got to get pads on," because I was just out there tackling people during flag football, getting in trouble, getting my dad in trouble.
Cool. So, have you always been a linebacker?
Yeah, so I've always been running back, linebacker growing up, and then high school came around. Um, Freshman year, I just played a little bit of everything on the freshman team, and then sophomore year came, and I was starting at like safety, like a strong safety position, little in preseason, and then one of our corners actually went down in preseason. So during preseason, I was playing corner, and then one of
Wow.
our linebackers were uh was a little bit hurt, so a little bit into the season, I switched to linebacker. Then ended up doing pretty well. So from there on, it's history.
Interesting. So again, we're talking about St. Joseph, regional Catholic school there in Jersey, and as you had mentioned, play a little bit of everything,
Yeah,
from running back to safety to corner, and
yeah.
then ultimately at linebacker. Obviously, most people know you as a linebacker there. Um, you have any favorite memory of you there at St. Joseph? I also have in my notes that you participated in some wrestling and some lacrosse.
Yes, sir.
Talk about maybe one of your fondest memories back in those days.
Well, just I think it has to be the 13-0 win at MetLife Stadium against Bergen Catholic for the state championship. That was my sophomore year, and our defense was just unbelievable. So I got to play next to so many great players like Howard Cross at Notre Dame now, Amin Vanover at Penn State, Smith Filber at Penn State, Teray Powell, UMass. The list goes on. Terrence Spence, who's also at Holy Cross and killing it now at JMU. So just got to play next to a bunch of those guys. We were really close, and yeah, that's got to be my fondest memory. But wrestling and lacrosse also shaped me, who I am today. Just the toughness and understanding body leverage and stuff like that obviously comes from wrestling, and just like the feet, lateral quickness, and all that comes from lacrosse. So those are also very fond memories as well.
So, what did you play in lacrosse? I mean, full disclosure, I have no clue about lacrosse. I've never studied lacrosse. I don't know much about it. But what did you play in lacrosse? I mean,
So I was
enlighten.
I was a midfielder, which is I played like offense and defense.
Gotcha.
And yeah, it's kind of crazy because I actually thought I was gonna end up going to college for lacrosse earlier in my high school career. I started like getting recruited a little for lacrosse earlier in my high school career, but you know, uh, ultimately my love is in football, and I always loved football the most, so I decided to stick with that.
Sure. So, certainly a possibility that you could have gone to college for lacrosse, but ultimately, like you said, football is your love. You're going to Holy Cross, where Holy Cross for the longest time, dominating their league. And so why not? Why not go to a great school with great history. And so, how did you ultimately get to Holy Cross? I mean, obviously, a lot of people were recruiting you for lacrosse and football, but
Yep.
what ultimately did it for you? Like, what ultimately made you decide, hey, uh, I'm going here to Holy Cross?
So my recruitment process was actually like pretty weird just because it was during those COVID days. So I couldn't really go on any visits or anything of that nature. I mean, the only visits I went on were my sophomore and junior year, where I went to like Army and I did like a junior day at Rutgers and stuff like that. But really, when it came down to like making my decision, I couldn't get on campuses because of COVID. So I ended up coming up to campus with none of the coaches here, and they would FaceTime me around campus. And each coach would FaceTime me at a different spot, show me around campus. And it's a small campus. I was familiar with a bunch of the coaches and players too, coming from St. Joe's, and it just really felt like home. I mean, on top of the fact that it's an elite academic school with a great football culture and something that I truly believed in, I think it was just a no-brainer. Right after that COVID visit, where I was walking around campus on FaceTime, I was in the car with my family, and I was just laying in the back seat thinking of course, my dad asking me a ton of questions, and I was just like, eventually, I was just like, yeah, I think Holy Cross is the place for me. I think I'm gonna commit tomorrow, and
Cool.
yep, that's how it
Well,
went.
it obviously was something that was meant to be, and you ended up there, and
Went so
currently
well.
a team captain there, and just kind of seemingly following suit with this history and legacy of linebackers coming out of Holy Cross. You know, I've had the privilege of interviewing Liam Anderson, who's currently on the 53-man roster for the Colts, which is awesome.
Oh yeah,
And then also interviewed Jacob Dobbs, excellent, All American player, who's a prospect in this year's draft, along with yourself.
yeah.
And then, of course, now you. Um, Talk about this legacy that you guys have started to build there with the people there that have captained the defense.
Yeah, I mean, I really do think it just starts with our linebacker coach, Coach Brian Viganic. I mean, he's unbelievable, just the way he develops his players and the trust and all that he just builds within the culture of the linebacker room here is just amazing. He's just developed me not into just a better football player, but a better person overall. And he's just someone I look up to greatly. But coming in as a freshman, obviously, I came in a stacked room with Jacob Dobbs, Liam Anderson, Liam Doran, a bunch of other really good players, Dante Bolden, and I just it was tough at first, coming out of high school, you want to play as much as possible. But when you're in a room like that, you just have to know your role, know what your role on the team is, and learn and be a sponge and absorb as much as you could. So I really embraced that role freshman year as a special teams player and contributor, and then just learned as much as possible I could from Jacob and Liam just with their on the field preparation, off the field preparation, absorbed it all and just implemented it into my daily life. And I really think I owe a lot to them as well. I don't think I would be as successful as I am today without their leadership and guidance and them guiding me to where I am. So it's just the culture here is unmatched and you know it's such a brotherhood and a tight-knit community that you really just do rely on each other to get each other better.
Gotcha. So, Frankie, let's I guess focus in on you as a prospect. One of the first things that you talked about there is obviously it took you a while to really be the man because there's a ton of great talent around you. But I mean, as you were developing, we obviously saw you mostly on special teams, and
Yes, sir.
so that's kind of where I want to sit first. So, talk to me about you as a special teams player, maybe favorite role on special teams, and just kind of your overall attitude towards it.
I mean, special teams, I just think is the heartbeat of the program. I mean, that's something that we always talk about. It's just as important as offense, defense. Special teams is just wins you games sometimes. And even this past week, our game against Bucknell, special teams won us the game, I believe. And special teams is just truly shows what kind of player and person you are, just the type of character and type of player you want to become. I really just I love special teams. They're awesome. I mean, my main roles on special teams were running down on kickoff and kick return as a frontline guy. So I think my favorite role throughout the years on special teams was the front line on kickoff. I had a kill shot on a certain return where I'll just come down and have a kill shot on one of the guys running down on kickoff. But anything, just double teams, single blocks, J drops, all those things I love. Running down on kick is off is obviously fun. You have a huge head start running full speed just into another person. It's just awesome.
I mean, I know now the NFL has implemented this different kickoff. You know, you have any comments about it before we move on?
I mean, I don't mind. Like, I really don't mind watching it. I mean, I wouldn't know really because I haven't actually experienced it yet, like as a player. So
Sure.
I wouldn't really be able to comment too much on it. I mean, I don't mind watching it. I think it does keep players safe as kickoff and kick return. You really cause a lot of injuries, but I think it's cool. I mean, you just lined up real close to each other, and it's just show me who's tougher, really. I just think it's a toughness play.
Yeah, and lately we are seeing some decent returns. I mean, you're kind of
Yeah.
forcing them to return now. I mean, you're forcing the
Mhm.
kicker to adjust and all, and you are seeing some guys get down like halfway down the field. So
Yeah,
it's certainly still an exciting part of the game. So
I agree.
I do want to continue to go down things there for you, Frankie. So, what do you feel separates you the most as a prospect? I mean, as a guy who plays linebacker along with a lot of other great talented players at your position, what do you think is maybe your best trait as a prospect?
Um, I would have to say, like, I really do pride myself on my preparation. Just film study, all of that. Breaking down scouting reports and cut ups and all those things that we do over here. Uh, I think my preparation really prepares me to play the best of my ability every single week. But when it comes to on the field, I think my speed, my sideline to sideline play, and my toughness really just shows out and shows up on film. I mean, I just love to hit and love getting to the ball. So I think my toughness, my speed, and definitely being a student of the game helps me play to the best of my ability every single week. I really do pride myself on being a team player and a team captain and just being a role model for a lot of the people on our team and just being like another coach out there. So those are all things I pride myself on.
So Frankie, obviously as a leader on that defense, and studying your opponent, trying to figure things out so that you can, uh, you know, get the better end of your opponent. I'm pretty sure along the ways you guys are utilizing a lot of different tactics on defense. What does your defense look like? I mean, obviously you're the guy who's typically there in the middle. Do
Mhm.
they move you around a little bit? Do you guys utilize different like base defenses? Can you kind of talk to me about y'all's overall defense?
Yeah, I mean, we're just base 4-2-5. But we have a not as much this year because we have a new defensive coordinator. My linebacker coach is actually now the defensive coordinator. So a little bit of change, but we have different types of packages where we bring another linebacker in as a defensive end, speed rusher. We have speed rush packages, stuff like that. But really a base 4-2-5. And for me personally, I'm lined up as the weak side linebacker. We call it the Bob, where I play a lot of coverage outside of the box and inside the box. So that's just mainly what we've been running.
Gotcha. Quite honestly, I feel like, if you are in coverage often, it can't help but help you as a prospect because I feel
Yeah.
like that's what today's linebacker has to be responsible for. I mean, you have to be able to cover. You got to be able to, follow the running back like wherever he goes. Maybe pick up the
Yeah.
tight end whenever you're asked to. That's today's linebacker. So that's
Yes,
what we're
sir.
looking at when we're looking at Frankie Monte here. So um, Frankie, obviously, maybe this particular season hasn't gone the way you wanted, the way that's really been for Holy Cross for quite some time when you were looking at like overall wins and losses.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so, I mean, again, I'm just trying to be real about it. So,
Of course.
when things aren't going your way, what keeps you motivated?
I mean, the guys obviously keep me motivated, the coaches keep me motivated, but we always know that what happened in the past doesn't really matter. It's not going to change. It already happened. You can't change it now. So we just have to fall back on our preparation, just figure out what went wrong, and just keep moving forward and prepare for the next week so we can go 1-0 each and every week. But yeah, I mean, definitely this season. Has been different than a lot of the seasons that we've had here in the past. But we have a lot of young guys running around, um, which they're doing a phenomenal job. I really do think they're doing a phenomenal job. We've been in a couple close games with a couple really good teams. They just haven't fallen our way, and sometimes that's just how it goes. But we're just gonna keep putting our best foot forward, keep preparing the best to our ability, and keep trying to go 1-0 every single week.
Gotcha. Frankie, you knew I had to kind of throw a real kind of question for you
Yeah, of
because I mean,
course.
I think for some people, I mean, everything doesn't always turn out exactly the way you want them. It's really how you respond to that, hurdle, how you respond to, being knocked down, picking yourself up again, and treating each and every game, like it's something you have to, win. So
Yes, sir.
hopefully you guys got one more game left to go. Hopefully you finish strong.
Yes, sir.
And again, there's a lot of other guys there at Holy Cross, a lot of young, talented players who are coming up in that program. Real quick, go ahead and let's shout out a couple names. Who are some other players there at Holy Cross that we need to know?
Um, Obviously Jordan Fuller. He got injured this year. He's awesome. He's my roommate. He's the best. A couple young guys that on the defensive side of the ball that I'm really proud of. Drew Spinagati, who's playing next to me this year. He's really done everything to the best of his ability and really embracing his role this year, embracing starting to see come along with the film study and all the extra stuff that's going to make him really exceptional when he gets um, into his next year and year after, even though he's doing a great job this year. Cam Jones, he's doing a great job at corner, and the big boys up front, also young guys, Bryce Stevenson and Jovan George, doing an awesome job. Um, I'm really, really proud of all those guys. I mean, I can go on for forever shouting out everyone on our team, but I'll I'll stick with those guys right now.
Well, I mean, definitely some solid talent. I mean, definitely they recruit well, they coach well. Seems like next year I'll probably be talking to another linebacker from Holy Cross. I mean, that's just kind of the way that it rolls
Yeah.
there. But Frankie, you talked a whole lot about your teammates, some of the other ones that you have really been impactful for you. For you personally, who would you say has been the most influential person for you specifically? Whether it be one of your coaches, your teammates, even somebody outside of football, who has been that person for you who's been most influential?
I think for me personally, it has to be Coach Vaganic, Coach Brian Vaganic, and Coach Chris Grosky, our strength coach. Um, like I said, they've just molded me into the player I am today, just in the weight room, outside the weight room, teaching me how to prepare for the game, how to utilize all my skills and talents to the best of my ability. And they molded me into the football player I am today, and just the man I am today. And they developed me when I got here. I was young boy, and I feel like I'm a grown man now, so I really do attribute a lot of that to both of them.
Gotcha. Obviously a great program, great coaches. We've already talked about that. Frankie, give me your best memory so far. Just what's that maybe one game that we've maybe haven't talked about yet that you kind of want to draw scouts' attention to maybe go back and look at that film?
Um, for me personally, I think it had to be the Army game when we played up there on Veterans Day. It was an awesome atmosphere. I was so juiced up. I mean, I grew up going to those games being only an hour away. I had so many photos of me just hanging over the sides, taking photos with the players and team there, and just to finally be able to actually play there and um, in the atmosphere of on Veterans Day, it was awesome. I mean, I had a really good play where it was a fourth down stop. It was fourth and goal. Terrence Spence actually chased the guy down from all the way across the field and pushed him out at the 1 yard line. And our defense came together and ultimately got the stop. And the fourth down stop was really memorable experience for me. But other than that, I mean, the Buffalo Hail Mary, obviously, you got to mention it. That was a great game. I mean, I was just a contributor really on special teams at that point, but that's just an awesome memory to have as well.
Yeah, definitely. Frankie, good to reminisce about those things. But again, we're moving forward as you as a prospect in this upcoming
Sure.
draft. Um, Before we close up, man, I also want to meet the guy a little bit. I want to meet Frankie Monte as a dude off the field. What are you into, man? Anything else that we need to know about you? You got any fun facts? Hobbies or anything you want to chit chat about for a couple minutes before we wrap things up?
Yeah, I mean, me as a person, I love outdoors. I love the outdoors. I love hiking. I love fishing. Um, I love music. Sometimes I have a DJ board. I'll just get in my room whenever I have free time, just DJ a little, make some mixes, stuff like that. Nothing too serious, but just as a hobby. I mean, my parents also made me play piano growing up, all since I was like 6 to 15, 16 years old. So that's something I know how to do, but I actually learned to appreciate it more with my age now, which is cool. It's cool to see. Um, yeah, just
So, do you
outdoor.
fancy yourself as a performer? Like, have you done that recently? I mean, saying that you had played. Like, are you asked to do that? Like, do you do that at all, or
No,
like?
no. I have before. Like I remember there was one time we were on an away trip and there was a just a piano in the lobby and I got on and started shredding a little, but nothing too crazy.
So what are you playing on the piano? Are you Elton John or something? What are you doing?
Well, right now not much, but when I was really into it and doing the lessons and stuff growing up, I was like a big Beatles guy, just any of those classics.
Nice. Frankie, we're getting to the point where we're gonna have to wrap things up. It's been fun. As we close up shop, I want you to really talk to some people about you as person, as a man of character, and tell them what a professional team would be getting if they took a chance on yet another guy out of Holy Cross, what separates you and what you would bring to the table as a player. Go ahead and hit people with your pitch.
Yeah, definitely. I just think you're gonna get someone who's gonna give you 100% day in, day out, put in the extra hours to do whatever I could to help the team, whether that's uh special teams, filling up waters, doing whatever I have to help the team out. That's just the kind of person I am. I just want to do the best of my ability. And player wise, you're gonna get a tough, hard-nosed guy that's a throwback type of guy. Loves getting his nose dirty, but could cover, could run. run sideline to sideline, and just make plays when they're needed.
Cool. Well, and definitely, we got to give a shout out to a guy who's been very well coached.
Yes,
And
definitely.
so, if anything, you know what you're doing out there. You've been taught how to prepare and be excellent with what you do. And bro, it looks as if maybe perhaps you're likely going to be an all conference player this year. And so at least you're going to have at least this, one accolade that you can, hold up and be proud of. But certainly want to wish you all the best with this upcoming game and everything else you got going on. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Sure. Once again, we got Frankie Monte, linebacker at a Holy Cross. Check him out.